this lovely day. We ask your guidance and inspiration in all that we do. Help us make wise decisions to support this community and all of its citizens. We also ask a special blessing in this month of October as we remember Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Domestic Violence Month. We ask that you look down upon all those who suffer from breast cancer, are in remission, or have passed away. We also ask a special blessing in your favor on all victims of domestic violence. We would like the community as a whole to remember the people affected by this, and we ask you, Lord, to look down with favor upon them and help them in a time of need. We also ask that as we go forward in our deliberations, in all that we do, you encourage, direct us, and inspire us so we make wise decisions. In all these things, we ask your blessing. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas domestic violence is a serious crime and an epidemic affecting individuals in every community, regardless of age, economic status, sexual orientation, gender, race, religion, or nationality, and whereas domestic violence is widespread, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men in the United States suffer serious physical violence at the hands of an intimate partner at least once during their lifetime. And whereas every day 3 women lose their lives in this country as a result of domestic violence, and millions of Americans live in daily silent fear within their own homes. And whereas more than 3 million children have witnessed domestic violence in their home every year, which can have a profound impact on their lives. And whereas domestic violence costs the nation billions of dollars annually in medical expenses, police and court costs, shelters, foster care, sick leave, absenteeism, and non-productivity. And whereas only a coordinated community effort and dedication from every sector of our society will put a stop to this heinous crime, and whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an excellent opportunity to promote awareness within the community, to honor those who have died as a result of domestic violence, to celebrate those who have survived, and to recognize those who strive to end domestic violence by providing critical services and assistance to victims in our community. Now, therefore, I, Catherine A. Goings, Mayor of the City of Clarksburg, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2015 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Clarksburg, and urge all citizens to work together to eliminate domestic violence from our communities. Signed, Catherine A. Goings, Mayor of Clarksburg.
an important part in the efforts. And whereas health fairs provide a venue to receive an array of reasonably priced blood panels, flu vaccines, addiction recovery, community resources, nutrition, eye care, skin assessment, massage, diabetes, women's care, general health care, dentistry, and more. And whereas the Parish Nurse Ministry of Immaculate Conception Church recognizes the importance of promoting health awareness, increasing knowledge of good health habits, and motivating people to translate health knowledge into action. And whereas the Parish Nurse Ministry of Immaculate Conception Church will sponsor a health fair from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on October 24th, 2015 at the church's parish center. And whereas it is the hope of the Parish Nurse Ministry of Immaculate Conception Church that the health fair will become an annual event. And whereas noting the importance of community involvement to the success of health fair, our local fire and police departments have been invited to participate, and the media has been called upon to assist in informing the public of the event. And whereas the City of Clarksburg expresses its appreciation to the Parish Nurse Ministry of Immaculate Conception Church for its sponsorship of the health fair, which benefits so many of our citizens. Now, therefore, I, Catherine A. Goings, Mayor of the City of Clarksburg, do proclaim Saturday, October 24th, 2015, as Health Fair Day in the City of Clarksburg, and encourage all citizens to attend the Immaculate Conception Parish Center to gain access to the many services provided. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and have caused the official seal of the City of Clarksburg to be affixed this 15th day of October. Catherine A. Goings, Mayor, Annette Wright, City Clerk. Thank you both.
Thank you. We hope that you all will come and take advantage of this fair. We have a committee of approximately 16 nurses in our parish, and 3 of us have shown up tonight. The others have all had other commitments, but we do hope that you will come and join us and take advantage of the fair. So remember, Saturday, October 24th, 9 to 2. Thank you.
Approval of the minutes of the regular session on October 1, 2015. If there are no objections, then motion carries. Petitions, communications, and public hearings. Michael Kiefer, 422 Duff Avenue, wishes to address the council concerning financial accountability.
Good evening, citizens of Clarksburg, members of council. I'm here tonight to address the recent retreat debacle. Here's a little history. Back in February, I started a campaign to bring some changes to the city charter in the areas of recall, referendum, and initiative. All of council agreed these were necessary changes. We'll do a work session about it, the mayor promised. Let's get this done for Clarksburg. Citizens can come and be open to suggestions. Fast forward 6 months, nothing changed. Promised work session failed to materialize. I posted about it on the Facebook page of Clarksburg City Council News. Many citizens agree it's well past time for these changes. The council's dragged its heels long enough. Miraculously, the next night when I come to speak about it at a council meeting, the mayor had a plan. We'll do a work session about it. Citizens can come. We'll be open to suggestions. Deja vu. This time, though, things would be different, I was promised. Mayor Goings even had a few dates picked out for the work sessions. I left the meeting cautiously hopeful that a work session would be scheduled where citizens could attend. This time, who was my optimism kid? The work session we were promised became a retreat. Citizens can come. We'll be open to suggestions. Morphed into, we need to get out of the county to avoid distractions. And at a projected cost of at least $1,500, the meeting got moved an hour away and scheduled on a weekday. Concerned citizens don't like being left out of a process and then charged for the privilege. We voiced those concerns to the few council members who seemed capable of listening, and to our amazement, they listened. 4 council members took those concerns to the mayor and asked for a change of venue. Of course, this led to a productive dialogue wherein the mayor laid out her reasons for her choices, presented cogent arguments, and a reasonable compromise. I'm kidding, of course it didn't. Instead, the mayor decided to unilaterally cancel the event with no dialogue, no discussion, no defense of either the initial plans or the cancellation, or the fact that canceling would cause financial penalties. Then she had the gall to blame the loss of $500 deposit on us, a vocal minority, I believe was the term. A vocal minority is the only group that ever gets engaged in municipal politics. That $500 is not on us, Madam Mayor. It's on you for your lack of communication, your poor planning, and your inability to compromise. You took your ball and went home and footed us with the bill. And on that note, even if we accepted the blame for that cost, it's chump change compared to the thousands wasted on economic development that went nowhere. Well, it went somewhere. It went into the pockets of planning architects. It went into the cash registers at bars in cities far from here. It went into hotels and lunches. Certainly didn't go into Main Street, Clarksburg, or any street in Clarksburg for that matter. And now you want to use more of the budget for economic development. When is enough finally enough? Get the charter change, Council. Do it here in Clarksburg. Forget about raising taxes until you can be more accountable for the blood you've already squeezed out of the stone that is Clarksburg. Thank you.
Thank you. Reverend Brian Cedars, 401 Duff Avenue, wishes to address the council concerning the Duff Street United Methodist Church building project.
Good evening, and thank you very much for allowing me a few moments. I represent the Duff Street United Methodist Church as the senior pastor, and I wanted to come tonight and show you our plans for the future in Salem. I don't have a regular easel, so I'm going to use a human easel tonight. Pat Webster is assisting me. And I want to thank WYK Associates for these wonderful renderings of our proposed $3.4 million new church building in Salem. We have had several opportunities to relocate. We could have chosen to go outside of our neighborhood, but we felt very strong that God was calling us to stay put. We have a 111-year history in Salem. This will be the third church building on the same location. And what I wanted to share especially tonight is this. While we do hope to transform our church, that is not the main reason that we're building. We want to transform our neighborhood. We want to be a vital church. We want to be involved in our community. Our community has many challenges, as you're well aware. Matter of fact, we want to use this facility in particular as a springboard to do ministry. We also have behind this lower picture a gymnasium. You can barely see the little tan to the bottom right. And that's where we've been meeting for worship for the last 5 years. Our hope in doing this, in part, is to regain the use of that gymnasium. When we were running the gymnasium program, it was not unusual to have 20, 25, and 30 kids on a night basis playing basketball, having a devotion and time of fellowship. We've not been able to do that for some time. Thankfully, we do use Morgan School, but our numbers aren't anywhere close to what they were. So we are very hopeful that we can begin to do new programming and to bring back some of the things that we used to do to help our community. I just wanted you to be aware, I thank you very much for your time tonight. Just real quick, just to let you know what each picture represents, the top middle will be the new sanctuary. It will seat approximately 250 to 300 people. On the lower end, of course, is the facade at the front. The upper left-hand corner is looking from the parking lot towards the church. And then, of course, on the right is another angle of the front of the church. We're going to reincorporate all of our stained glass window, all of our treatments, all of our arrangements, and we're going to open up new classrooms and new places in our church to do brand new ministry. So we're looking forward to the challenges. We'll come back and let you know how things are going. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
City manager's report and update.
Some of the general updates, Open Streets, Mountaineers Contractor Inc. has completed the majority of the paving along Route 19 South and Open Street down to Liberty Avenue. There are a few items left that the contractor will be responsible for, such as the street markings and some miscellaneous items that still need to be completed. South 7th Street, the wall sidewalk curb replacement. The notice to proceed was given to Feline Excavation and Construction. That's Tuesday, October 13th. They did arrive on site on October 14th, and they have begun construction up there. And this is again the project the council did approve at the last meeting, so we move very rapidly to get these improvements done within that neighborhood. The fall cleanup, again, we're continuing that. This week we're off, but next week we first week, it really has increased. We collected 70 tons of debris, made 65 trips to the landfill, and that's at a cost of approximately $2,600. And that's a hard cost. But last year, we had 33 tons for the same period, and a cost of $1,200. So you can really see that the program this year has picked up from the fall cleanup, and we anticipate the work keep getting out there and to help the Expedited Telegram to keep putting it out there themselves. We really think it'll be a good for a year, very successful. The water and water, we did receive a grant, received notification for the West Virginia Commission of the Arts that we were awarded a grant in the amount of $255,270. This is a cultural facilities grant that Clarksburg Heritage Library submitted on our behalf for the electrical upgrades. And again, the entire project is estimated at approximately $560,000. So we will be speaking to council more about that in the near future. But again, this is one of the priorities that was set forth to get done. That is the Watermore is the facility we do own. We'll make sure that we do take care of it and be able to get this completed, and that'll then allow for additional improvements to be made once the electrical upgrades are completed.
Mark, before you jump, we need to thank ML Quinn. Of course, we did, but ML Quinn worked with Anthony Bellot on putting this grant together, and I believe the state had $400,000 in the pot, and we as a city got $255,000. So we got a significant portion of that grant. So that was good news. And then with the passing of the levy, we designated funds towards the Baltimore, so that will help pay for some of the additional costs. But that was $255,000 that we weren't expecting, so that's a real bonus for us. So thanks to everybody that was involved in that.
Just an update on the YMCA, Steptoe & Johnson will be the bond counsel for the YMCA loan. The building commission will be taken out with the Harris County Economic Alliance Corporation. The building commission chairman, as well as myself, both executed the engagement agreement with Steptoe. So upon the USDA approving in writing, that deal will be completed, and the closing will happen soon after that by ordinance. And then also the council will have to also approve that by ordinance as the guarantor after that payment. On the Governor's Highway Safety Program, we did receive a financial review that was recently conducted by the state of West Virginia. No adjustments were to be noted in review of the records for the grant period ending September 30th of 2014. Just on economic development, the infrastructure of the Lowndes Hill Sycamore Street project, we continue to move forward with that. The Lowndes Hill administration is continuing to communicate with the State Historic Preservation Office regarding the project. I just had a conversation today with them. We're going to be filling out the Section 106 review checklist to see if we have to have it or not to hopefully expedite the project for this coming next year. The Sycamore Street Bridge, the administration did have a meeting on site with our city engineer as well as Frontier Communications regarding the communication currently is attached to that bridge now. If there is an attachment agreement and how we're going to proceed forward with the construction of a new bridge for future attachment agreements on the new one, and also the funding of who's going to put that communication cable back onto that bridge. And then also, just for the USDA requirements, we are required to have public hearings for USDA funding. And again, those two projects will be upcoming, so we will be scheduling upcoming public hearings here in council chambers just to review in general what those projects consist of and the USDA funding to meet those requirements prior to moving forward with bonds and bond councils for those projects. Under the police and fire, the police, Thursday, October 22nd, Friday, October 23rd, and Saturday, October 24th, the Mountain State MHIT team will be conducting a blitz within north central West Virginia, predominantly in the city of Harrison County of Bridgeport and Clarksburg. So they'll be targeting surrounding neighborhoods. They did it several months ago, and it really helps within the neighborhoods from drug dealers and also prostitutions and things such as that. So we will have a saturation of law enforcement within this county, in particular Clarksburg and Bridgeport, through those time periods. Under the fire, the physical building test having completed, 11 applicants have passed. The Civil Service Commission will be conducting interviews on Wednesday, October 28th, beginning at 4:30 p.m. And then also the background checks will be completed, and then they will be able to move forward with certifying that list, and then we will be able to begin interviewing administratively, and then that list will be confirmed, and we can move forward with the hiring process. Under the sanitary board, Senate Bill 234, just wanted to update council. This bill had passed the last legislative session, but it does require the municipal utility, water, and sewers to have a working reserve fund. Currently, we have a revenue reserve fund now that is very well financed, but this is a different fund. It would be 12.5% of the operating revenue, which equals approximately $650,000 to the sanitary board. Anytime the funds are used for any infrastructure improvements, they have to be replenished in a timely manner. So this is something the sanitary board will be funding moving forward in the very near future. Just an update on Spring Street issues, Head Street, St. Clair area, as still is our overall plan. Public Works has upgraded and installed a new line within the alley behind Spring Street, but in addition, communicated with DOH. They have authorized us to put a new storm drain across Hammond Highway, which will capture all of the storm water coming from that direction that flows down Route 20, Marshall Street, down into Spring, is contributing to those issues of storm water. So all of that water will be diverted into a ditch line on Route 20, and the DOH has approved that. And also in the wastewater treatment plant upgrade, we are projecting substantial completion of the project by mid-March of 2016, and the CSO line cleaning is not going on right now, but it will resume in the spring of 2016. Just some reminders on the events. The Clarksburg Uptown and CBB event for the W Baylor Tailgate Party is Saturday, October 17th at Jackson Square. Downtown trick-or-treats Thursday, October 29th. And the streets will be closed a half hour before that does start. And then also the trick-or-treating in the city of Clarksburg Saturday, October 31st, from 6 to 7. That concludes the meeting.
Thank you.
No unfinished business. New business. Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, enacting Article 109.05, Part 1 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Clarksburg, establishing procedures for procuring architectural and engineering professional services.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Jared Bowden,
Aye.
Robert Kaplan,
Aye.
Brian Kennedy,
No.
Sam Lopez,
Aye.
Chad Sigmund,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Malpaja,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, enacting architectural, or Article 109.01H of Part 1 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Clarksburg to exempt the city from the limitation imposed by West Virginia Code Section 812.552 by raising the per capita amount the city may appropriate and expend for advertising the municipality and for the entertainment of visitors from 25 cents per resident annually to $1 per resident annually.
So moved. Second.
Is there no
All
public
in
hearing
favor,
requirement for
signify
this?
by saying aye.
Aye.
No public hearing requirement?
No.
No public hearing requirement for these readings?
Second.
Jared Bowden,
Aye.
Robert Kaplan,
Aye.
Brian Kennedy,
No.
Sam Lopez, Chad Sigmund,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Malpaja,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg amending Article 745.25 and Article 745.26, Part 7 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Clarksburg regarding the business and occupation tax, reducing the business and occupation tax rate on the business of manufacturing and on the business of retail sales.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to have this table until everyone knows all the facts, as long as it doesn't interfere with holding this back.
We have to have a motion and a second first before it can be taken.
A motion to table takes precedence, stops the proceeding. It still requires a second and a vote.
Thank you.
We do not have a second to the motion,
Therefore, it fails.
therefore it fails.
this or having enough information to determine whether or not I feel we're ready for this. And for those reasons, I mean, I'm always in favor of lowering the B&O tax if we can do that. But since these two items, C and D, are married, I don't intend to support either one.
I'll just state as to C that I do intend to support C, and I'll address D when D comes.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Gary Bowden,
No.
Robert Kaplan,
Aye.
Brian Kennedy,
Aye.
Sam Lopez, Chad Sigmund.
Can I have a discussion or do I say aye or nay?
It's time to vote.
Okay. Since, no.
Vice Mayor Malpassar.
Aye.
Mayor Gordon.
Aye.
Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the Council of the City of Clarksburg enacting Article 746, Part 7 of the codified ordinances of the city to implement a consumer sales and service tax and a use tax, definitions, exceptions, administration, penalties.
I move the table.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Gary Bowden,
Aye.
Robert Kaplan,
Aye.
Brian Kennedy,
Aye.
Sam Lopez, Chad Sigmund,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Malpassar, Mayor Gordon.
No.
Consider,
So that will be tabled.
consideration to authorize the city manager to execute a capital campaign agreement with Progressity.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion. Just briefly, for those that aren't familiar.
Well, we put out an RFP, request for proposals for capital campaign consultants, and we have received two back. We interviewed both firms. Progressity was top of the list when we interviewed them, and what you have in front of you is the actual service agreement with Progressity, and they will assist us to be the leader within the team to go forward with the capital campaign, and also to put the case statements together, as well as the interviews and things and whatnot of the community members, and move forward with the capital campaign itself.
I just wanted to say really quickly that I said some time ago that if the Robinson Grant was going to work, it would require a lot of private money as well as some public money, but we'd have to have a lot of private money. And this is a good step forward in getting that private money to flow in, so I intend to go forward.
I agree, and this one actually is linked to the other two items I've already discussed, because one of the objectives of the sales tax, if it were approved, would be to provide additional monies for development of the Robinson Grand Theater, which I know all of us want, but I'd like to see a little bit more and hear a little bit more about what opportunity there is, what dollars we might raise under a capital campaign before I decide that I'm going to enact a 1% sales tax, part of which would be used to help development of the Robinson Grand Theater. So I totally support this particular agenda item. I would also ask that, could you share with us information, I'm asking the city manager, on their past work and success? Not necessarily now, it's sometime in the future, could we see, do we have some information related to other
Well, if you want to wait
campaigns?
out, yeah, absolutely.
Just other campaigns they've done and what kind of money they've raised in various communities?
Ironically enough, the gentleman in the back, Duff Street Church, she's been helping them, so.
Okay.
Locally,
Yeah,
she's involved locally. So
I would like to
it's-
read about where they've had successes. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of rescheduling the November 5th council meeting to November 9th.
If there are no objections, then motion carries.
I just have comes to work sessions, are these only for council members, or are they for the public as well?
Well, the public's allowed to attend, but they can't
They
participate.
can't participate. Okay, that's, I just want some clarification
Right.
on these. But they're always able to attend.
Right,
Okay.
regardless of where they are. Okay, I'll start out. Today we had a 45-year anniversary celebration for Smitty's Pizza, and they had a big event in their honor today. So Jim and I, as well as Dominique, Jim Davis was there as well, attended, and so it was very nice to see a local family-owned business remain in business for 45 years, so that was pretty exciting. I want to give a special thank you to the Mayor's Youth Council. They helped in the pole decorating downtown, and we made an attempt to plant mums over at the parking garage, but there were way too many roots in the dirt to dig any holes, so the mums are just sitting there. But they were very excited about doing the planting and doing the poles, and I think they did a nice job for what we got accomplished that night. Special thank you to Dominique for helping out in the first date night, which was a huge success. And we're looking forward to the next event, which will be Tuesday, November 10th. So everybody mark their calendars. We had several businesses in town participate, and everybody was pleased with the evening's activities. So that was very good for the city of Clarksburg. And then, again, just to reiterate, the next regularly scheduled work session is Wednesday, October 28th at 4 o'clock in council chambers, and then we will select a date at that time for the regular November schedule. So that's all that I have this evening. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I spoke with the city manager the other day, and at this work session on Wednesday, October 28th, we are going to be presented with a few designs for the sign honoring Coach Fisher. So we will be voting on that. And I just want to remind everybody about the tailgate party at Jackson Square Saturday for the football game. I think, what time, 9 o'clock? The game's at noon, so they can start arriving at 9.
10. It was 10.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming, please.
I just want to thank Public Works, State, or whoever, everyone is involved with Milford Street. It's amazing. It's such a pleasure to drive every day, and hopefully it'll be a ripple effect to Pike and Chestnut in the future. But I'm so pleased with Milford. Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
on the agenda, I would like the senior issue to be put on October 28th. Since the lunch is supposed to end on October 31st. I just think it's so important to the community, for our seniors to have lunches down at our senior center. And I think this council's proven that they would help in any way they can, which I don't know if they've reached out for us in any other direction. But I definitely like for that to be on the agenda, because I just think it's important that we have some kind of food down
Yeah,
here.
we can put it on there, we won't be able to vote.
No, I love that.
To follow up on that, because I've been approached and there's other resources, and I think Gary said we're trying to find out what may work, and I know Chris Mullet has made.
I think it'd be great to have a discussion.
Maybe if could he attend to this meeting as well, or that's why I was confused about the work session, could he be involved with this?
And like Chad said, Milford Street is, it's nice when we've got to drive up every day. And then, thank everybody for coming and your opinions. But, I just want to say that this council does want to help the seniors out in any way they can, believe me. And I just think that we ought to do whatever we can for the seniors. And I never vote, if people realize, I never vote to table anything, because I usually have it's not whether it's right or wrong, is that that things shouldn't be put on the agenda if people aren't ready to vote. I mean, that's how I feel about it, that's what I always feel about it, because when they're on the agenda, that's time for this council to take action.
I think we're also having a meeting, if it's not going to hinder the time frame, then that's my
No,
reason.
I mean, I'm talking about any item, I'm talking about any item.
Okay.
People know. When it's put on the agenda, it's time for action. One way or another. And if you need information, when something's been on the agenda, we've been talking about for a year, not even this part, there's been other items on here we've tabled, that have been discussed for a year and been tabled. You need to get yourself out of your seat and go talk to the people that get paid the money. This guy here and that guy over there. I'll point the fingers at the city manager, finance director. I mean, that's who you need to go talk to find out the information. I mean, I don't care whether people vote for it or don't approve it or disapprove, that's fine. That's just everybody's opinion. And I live with that once I walk off this bench. But to me, it's embarrassing when you have to table stuff, because that shows me that even in 3 days, I would have had every information and talked to all my constituents if I didn't understand this situation here. People, when you sit on this council, you get elected to vote and to get the information. And I know a lot of circumstances happened while this was going on, but this ain't the first time something's been tabled at this council meeting. And I know we have some new people, and they need to take the time to do more work. The council's just not sitting up on this bench and doing it. We have 2 young council people that do a lot of extra work. I'm proud of both of them. They do. They'll do more than I ever did. But it takes a lot of time. But when something's on this agenda, it's on the agenda for a reason, and that's the vote. And if you need to get educated, when you know it's going to happen, then you need to start going to your constituents. You need to go to the city manager and finance director and find out the information.
And which we have.
Yeah.
Which
So,
we have. It's just that I just want everyone to make the most educated decision. It's not going to.
well, there's only one person that votes. I vote for my vote, you vote for your vote, and these other 5 people down here, you don't need to worry about them, how they vote.
No.
You vote what's right for your conscience, what you think is better for the city of Clarksburg. And then everybody on this council should be able to live with that decision that any person up here makes. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to, again, express my support for the upcoming Baylor game. I hope to see many of you at the tailgate. I know I intend to be there at least for a little while. Trick or treat's coming up. I know lots of kids around Clarksburg really enjoy that. And so I'm glad that that's coming up on the 31st for trick or treat in the neighborhoods, and on the 29th for trick or treat downtown. And the only other thing I will say, since it was brought up, is that tabling items is one of the many tools in the toolbox of the Robert Rules of Order. If a majority of council believes that something is being done hastily and should be slowed down, that's one way to do it. And if the majority of council decides to do it, they can. And if they don't, they don't. And that's just the way the rules work. That's all I have.
I simply wanted to draw people's attention to an item that I read in the Clarksburg paper, and it was in the State Journal as well, I believe, that frankly horrifies me. And I mention this only to continue to call upon the community to reach out and offer help wherever you can to solve this problem. And that item is that 50% of the babies born today at United Hospital Center are affected in some way by drugs, have some drug addiction. What does that say for the future of our community? We're here all interested in our citizens and our community and economic development and better roads, better businesses. 50% of the babies born in our local hospitals suffer an addiction. It's not all hard drugs. Some of it's prescription drugs. Some of it's nicotine from mothers who smoke during pregnancy. Some of it's alcohol addiction from mothers who drink during pregnancy. Only point I want to make is an appeal to all of you, your friends, your neighbors, whoever you can speak to make sure that we're supporting the organizations in our community that fight drugs, that help educate young people against ever starting drugs. Support our churches, our neighborhood watches, our police department, our schools, who are doing all that they can to fight this drug epidemic. Because it scares the hell out of me when I read headlines like the one I just mentioned. It's extremely sad. Thank you.
I too would like to thank the Merit Youth Council. I think downtown looks great, spooky, but fall too. Also, I'd like to, and it might have been brought up, but driving down Main Street is a lot brighter now, and it looks great. And I'm very, very happy with that. And thank the city and those involved in that as well. And I would also like to thank Anthony and the state of West Virginia for Milford Street. I know the city did a lot of prep work last year to get to this point, and living in that area, I'm very thankful that has been done, because that's a major thoroughfare. I too would like to thank everybody for coming this evening and voicing their concerns and participating in city government. Thank you.
I just want to make one clarification on the street poles. The Mayor's Youth Council did about 10 of them, but a lot of the local merchants, as well as, families, and I know Marcia, you did some on behalf of others too, so.
I would like to thank everybody involved.
We don't want to overlook.
I'm not leaving yet, I got stuff to do. So you can stay. Lay down. Lay down.
You can't vote for anything, nobody else can talk. Yeah, come over.